Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to That Hard Plays. I am your host, Vash Guy, and with me is WDW Pro. Now, Pro, we're going to go ahead and get right into this one because you teased something to me in the lead up to this video, and I have to know what that is. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Bob Iger today. Ah, yes. From That Hard Plays, Bob Iger bristles at talk of Josh Giamaro and his successor, but the Disney CEO race is heating up. October 3rd, 2025 by Marvin Montanaro. What will Josh Giamaro become the Disney CEO? It certainly looks that way to most, but the race to see who is going to assume Bob Iger's throne and office shower is apparently far from over. That's pretty good by Marvin there. The race to succeed Bob Iger as CEO of the Walt Disney Company is quietly becoming the most closely watched executive battle in Hollywood and corporate America. While Iger has insisted no decision has been made, all signs point to Disney Parks chief Josh Giamaro as the Disney CEO frontrunner, despite Iger's apparent irritation with the very idea when it was floated to him in public. According to eyewitness reports, Iger was dining at a farm shop in Santa Monica when his breakfast partner casually remarked that Giamaro would, quote, do a great job when he's appointed CEO. The suggestion reportedly sparked visible discomfort from Iger. I believe the term was bristled, who raised his voice declaring the board had made no such decision and that he had, quote, no idea where that notion was coming from. Bro, I am very intrigued with Bob Iger's response right here because, I mean, apparently he was pretty visibly upset, and he put it out there that no decision's been made and seemed to be very upset that Josh Giamaro was being singled out in this conversation. Pro, your thoughts?
Well, let's dive into some rumor and speculation, folks. We're going to have to for me to talk about this, but we'll put the disclaimer out there. You know, Josh Giamaro could be another Bob Chapek. Not in the sense of him being taken out, but he's another Parks guy. And Bob Iger really likes flashy, politically aligned Hollywood types. He loves those people. That's his people, he believes, even though he started off as a weatherman. But more so, his wife really loves politics. Willow loves politics. That's his wife's name. In fact, she is the dean of journalism at the at USC. And so I am being told now, Vash, I'm being told, although I cannot prove this, but it's coming from a source that I really, really trust. So we're going to put it out there, and folks, you take the salt with it if you'd like. We're being told that Bob Iger and Willow are very keen on Dana Walden, even though Dana Walden was unable to get Kamala Harris into the presidency. And folks, if you're saying, what in the world is this? What kind of conspiracy is this? Dana Walden is the head of ABC and ABC News and Disney Plus and all that. She was perceived to be by far and away the leading candidate to become the CEO. And one of the things that Dana Walden is known for is being best friends with Kamala Harris, even to the point that she introduced Kamala Harris to her husband. So I know that's a lot to take in, but Bob Iger and Willow are well connected with Dana. Now, Josh Giamaro is seen as a very kind everyman who has risen up to the highest levels. I don't know that he is qualified, Vash. I'll be honest. I don't think either Dana Walden or Josh Giamaro should be CEO of Disney. Josh Giamaro simply because I think he has presided over the worst tenure in the Disney parks history. Really and truly, you got to go back to the late years of Eisner to find a place that's just as bad. And maybe this is worse, honestly, because the Disney parks have been turned from a family experience to an uber wealthy boutique kind of scene where it's more about getting it intoxicated around World Showcase than getting your kids on the merry-go-round. But what I'm hearing, Vash, is that Bob Iger and Willow really, they see this as a step down if they don't get Dana. Yet who is it that's pushing for Josh Giamaro and why? Well, Vash, again, back into rumor and speculation territory, but we're hearing that Morgan Stanley's, yes, folks, we're going deep on this, Morgan Stanley's James Gorman, who was brought in to help lead the CEO transition process, he is the avatar, I suppose, of the institutions out there, the big shareholder investors. And apparently James Gorman wants Josh Giamaro, and maybe because the institution's view that Josh Giamaro is a more malleable candidate for CEO who would do basically what they want him to do rather than Dana Walden, who could have some variable personality traits where she goes off the rails a few times in ways that they would not enjoy.
Right. That would make sense. Also, too, I mean, look, what is it? Dana Walden was instrumental in removing Chapek, right? Dana Walden had a lot of these morning walks in Brentwood because they live next to each other over there in Southern California. Bob Iger and Dana Walden would go and walk and talk about, what was going on in the Walt Disney Company. And this was even when Bob Iger was not the CEO of the Walt Disney Company.
Bash, is that something we're allowed to talk about? I don't remember if that's on the...
Yes, it's public. Okay. It's public. Don't worry. We're good.
Okay.
It is public.
Sometimes we find out stuff and it's off the record for a while, and then it comes out and I say, whoa, wait a minute. Is that... what changed here? Okay, continue on, Vash. Continue.
It's kosher. So I can understand why Bob Iger would like to have Dana Walden as next CEO. And look, honestly, I mean, for Bob Iger himself, what would be the feather in his cap, or the topping on the ice cream float of his legacy, than to hand off the Walt Disney Company to the first female CEO? I think a lot of that's going through Bob Iger's mind. On the flip side. Oh, go ahead, please.
There's also a political advantage, really and truly. So Willow wants to stay in the political scene. I know people think, Bob Iger's retiring, he's going to go get on a yacht, but his wife is not. His wife is going to continue, you would believe, to be the dean of USC. And if you put in someone who is very heavily politically connected, Josh D'Amaro is not. He's probably got better connections in Abu Dhabi than he does in D.C. If you put in Dana Walden, then the next time that, administrations change and the Democrats are back in power, then Bob Iger and his wife would seemingly have a very strong connection into that Politico world. And they like that.
And that's not to say that Josh D'Amaro isn't politically active. Pro, I was actually looking into Disney's political action committee, or Disney's own PAC. And one of the top donors to it was Josh D'Amaro. I think he was at the top of the list there.
Yeah, but Vash, when you're at that level, you're going to have to. It's just a requirement. I mean, these people, in order to get anywhere, you have to grease the palms. You've got to do what kiss the babies, all that kind of stuff, and that's part of it.
And I think one of the reasons why we're seeing so much aggressivity when it comes to pricing and the cutting of certain expenditures and reducing of operating costs when it comes to the Disney park side of things is because I think that's twofold. One, I think the company needs it, but two, Josh D'Amaro really wants to present himself as like, hey, I am the revenue driver for this company, which is why it should be entrusted to me. And for James Gorman's position, it's like that's kind of it, right? I mean, Dana Walden doesn't have that much experience being even part of the Walt Disney Company. She was acquired with the Fox acquisition there in 2019.
She just screwed up this Jimmy Kimmel thing, right? So whatever you might think of what happened, she managed to make the left, the right, and the middle mad. So nobody's happy with Jimmy Kimmel. And who was on the phone? All the press says that Dana was on the phone. You think Bob Iger and Dana Walden like that she got listed out as the person who was in charge of this? No, but she screwed up over and over. Disney Plus is missing, milestones. They're not even going to start talking about the subscribers anymore. The only reason Dana Walden is on the list, the only reason she's in the running is because of her political connections and because of immutable attributes with which she was born. Josh D'Amaro has every reason in the world to not be selected because he's a white dude. And yet, and despite the fact that he's presided over a bad theme park environment, I believe that's going to bite them all in the butts. It's down to these two. And
it really is.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob, indeed. One more question, Pro, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Do you think there is in any way a possibility that both of them are made co-CEO? It's possible with the amount of verticals that they have. Josh doesn't really understand or get or has had experience in the entertainment side, and vice versa with Dana Walden when it comes to Disney parks. Is there a chance?
Well, there's always a chance, of course. There's always a chance. But that is not what has been projected out. So if they were to change now and say, we've decided to go with a co-CEO instead, that might, and no financial advice being given, but that might give a shiver to shareholders who say, wait a minute, why did you not have confidence in either of these to be the sole CEO of the company? What does this mean? Is it possible? Sure. I don't know that that's a bad idea, though. And long term, it might shake out much better. But there is the possibility, there is the fear that if you did that, shareholders would say, oh, so you don't trust one of them to be CEO. So we've got less thans running half of the company. Yay.
I know Susan Arnold actually advocating for a period of time that there should be a co-CEO role for ongoing leadership for the Walt Disney Company. And in the past, it's always worked better when you have two people at the very top right there. But I want to go ahead and know from you in the comment section down below what you think the Walt Disney Company should do. Are there better candidates? Should both of them be CEO, or should Dana Walden, Josh D'Amaro? Let us know in the comment section down below right there. Make sure you subscribe to WDW Pro, who was very kind enough to make this video possible. And if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and make sure you follow That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.